In order for us to learn about performing mathematical operations on fractions, it is foremost critical to learn about the very basic function, which is addition and subtraction on fractions. Okay, so as we have learned about, there could be variety of fractions such as proper or improper. There could be mixed numbers, right? And then we also learned about there could be like and unlike fractions, right? And then we also learned about the equivalent fractions. Well, you might think that with so many variety of fractions, it might make addition and subtraction very complicated. Well, it is not. In reality, the addition and subtraction of fractions is very straightforward. You just need to keep two things in mind. And one of that is, no matter what fractions you are given, you always try to bring them to the proper or improper form. Okay? This is step number one, or this is the key point number one, right? And once you have one of these two forms, then you might want to convert these two forms into the like fractions, all right? Remember, when we were learning about the like and unlike fractions, we said that the utilization of like fractions will be best understood when we talk about performing mathematical operations. And that's where we are going to find the importance of like fractions. Okay, so let us play and take some numbers to see how you perform the addition or subtraction on fractions. Okay, so to begin with, I'm going to take a very simple case. Let's say my two fractions are 3/7 and I have 2/7. Okay, extremely simple, straightforward, proper fractions, and I will say both of these are like fractions because they have the same denominator, right? In such condition, it is extremely straightforward to add or subtract. Let's say I want to perform the addition operation. What you do is you keep the bottom the same as it is, right? The denominator remains the same and the numerators get added. So 3 and 2 will get added and it will become 5. Simple, straightforward, nothing complicated about it, right? But let's say my another case is that I have a fraction 11/7. It's improper, and my other fraction is 3/5. Okay, two very different fractions. They do not have the same denominator. In this case, I would like to convert both of them to like fractions, right? And how do you do that? What you do is utilize the cross multiplication technique. Means take the denominator 1, 7, and multiply that with the numerator and denominator of the second fraction. And likewise, take the denominator 2, which is 5, and multiply that with the numerator and denominator of fraction 1. Okay, and now you are converting these two fractions into their equivalent form. What you will get is the fraction 1 becomes 11 times 5 is 55, and bottom is, or the denominator is 35, right? And likewise, the fraction 2 will become 21/35, right? Now you have the same denominator, okay? And I wanted to perform a subtraction in this case, all right? In this case, my result will be very straightforward. I keep the denominator as it is, 35, and I simply subtract their numerators. So 55 minus 21, it will be 34. As simple as that, right? Now from here, from this point onwards, you see that whatever result you get, if you can reduce it down to its lowest possible form, by all means do it. But if you cannot, you cannot, and that's where we stop. In this case, I see that I want to leave the result as it is, 34/35, because I don't think I can reduce it down any further. Okay, let's erase it and make some room for more examples. So let us discuss another case of when you are given some mixed numbers. Okay, so my numbers are 2/1/4 and 3/1/5. And let's say we are playing with a subtraction operation, all right? In this case, since we have the mixed numbers, I would like to convert these mixed fractions, these two fractions that are given to us, into their improper form, because then it becomes simpler to handle it, okay? So 2/1/4 becomes 4 times 2 is 8 plus 1 is 9. So this becomes 9/4, and 3/1/5 is actually 16/5. Now you have two fractions. They have different denominator, and I would like to convert them into the like fractions, correct? So we are going to utilize the cross multiplication technique, which means take the denominator 1, which is 4, and multiply both with the numerator and denominator of second fraction, right? And then I take 5, which is the second denominator, and I use that in multiplication with fraction 1. Okay, now you have two different fractions, right? And they will be equivalent to their original form. And the result will be 9 times 5 is 45, with 4 times 5 becomes 20. And on the right hand side, it becomes 16 times 4 is 64, and the bottom is 20. Right? So you see that from this mixed fractions, you converted them to improper form, and then you converted them to the like fractions. Now you have the same denominator, and the task is very simple now, because you simply take the denominator as it is and perform the subtraction on numerators, correct? So 45 minus 64, it becomes 19, and it is negative because 64 is bigger than 45, right? And this is your final result. Or you can say that my final result is equal to negative 19 over 20, and you can write next to the original numerical expression that you had, subtraction of two mixed numbers. Okay, so this is as simple as it gets. All you have to remember is that whenever you're given any fractions, convert them to their improper or proper form. Okay, always remember about these two. And then as a second step, convert them into the like fractions so that you can perform your respective addition or subtraction operation. Okay, so these are the two key things you have to keep in mind all the time about performing mathematical operation of addition or subtraction on fractions.